Welcome to The Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Oh man, before we start, I'd like to thank you guys so much for all the support. I've been loving all the support. I say it every video because it's true. I've been loving all the support. I've had these big goals that I didn't think I was going to ever reach, and we are so close to those goals. Close to my TikTok goals. I'm close to my Apple Podcast downloads, as well as Spotify download goals. You guys have been killing it. Thank you so much for the support. Without further ado, though, we're going to get in to episode 49. 49, where I'm going to maybe try to do something special for the 50th episode. I'm not 100% sure yet. I got to think of something. But I do want episode 50 to be something a little special. But thank you guys so much for everything, all the support. Please keep supporting. But let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to talk about a movie, or not really a movie, I'm sorry. It's a Kdrama. I mentioned it on one of the previous episodes when I was talking about Duna. I gave, my thoughts on that one. If you want to see that one, I believe that was episode 46, I believe. So check that one out. But this one, it's a little older. It came out in 2018. You guys may have know it as well if you've probably seen it. If you're in the K-drama space, you've probably seen it. If you've not seen it and you do enjoy K-drama films, or you're just looking for something to kind of watch that, is a pretty good show and will kind of keep you busy for a while. This show is called My ID is Gangnam Beauty. And it is such a cute show. It is so good. I love it. It is about this girl. Her name is Kang Mire, and she has a very unattractive face. And so what she does is she begs her mom after graduating high school to get plastic surgery. And so she goes to get plastic surgery and make her face look beautiful. And so now that she has a beautiful face and she's got the surgery and everything, she is a little more scared and timid because when she goes to college, she is like, oh my God, there's so many girls here that are like naturally beautiful and stuff. And I don't know if like they can tell if I got surgery or if, I look super fake in the face or whatever the case may be. She just gets super insecure about it. And so, she goes and she's going to the little opening ceremony party or whatever. And, they're like playing drinking games and stuff. And a familiar name rings out. And the guy's name is Don Kyonsaka. And she's like, oh shit, I know that name. That name sounds super fucking familiar. Apparently it's a guy that went to her middle school. He has not yet recognized her, but he recognized him because they form a circle and then they go in the middle and then they say, my name is whatever. And then, I like to do this and I like to do that. I hope that we can be friends or whatever. And so, it's one of those things where it's like, she sees him in the middle of the circle and she's like, oh shit. I cannot believe that's him. Like, no, maybe that's not him. Maybe it's not. Like, it could be somebody else. Totally. It's whatever. So then she kind of gets pushed into the circle and she's like, oh my God, I hope he doesn't recognize me, because if he is the guy from middle school, then he'll know who I am. And so she sits there and she's just like, hey, I'm Kang Mire, and, I like perfumes, and da-da-da. And then they're like, oh, yeah, da-da-da-da. And she was like, hope we can be friends or whatever. And so then, it goes on and they're drinking and stuff like that. And then they have this little dance thing. And since she was not a very attractive in the face kind of girl, she didn't really have a lot of friends and stuff like that. So at home, she always danced, and she danced in front of the TV and stuff like that. And so she learned how to dance and things. And so there was a talent portion of the show. And so they were dancing and all this kind of stuff. And it was funny. And so she becomes super popular because she does this. She's like the star of the dance and everything. And so then she leaves and she gets some, she wants to get some air and whatnot. And then she gets a phone call from her dad. But crazy thing is her dad doesn't know that she got the surgery. So when he FaceTimes and it's her, she's like, hey, and he's like, oh, hey, what's going on? Are you like Mire's friend or something like that? And she goes along with it. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm her friend. Like, she's just outside getting some air or whatever. And, I just found her phone. And he was like, oh, okay, well, tell her when that her dad called and this and that and da-da-da. And I was like, oh, shit. I am so sorry. Give me one moment. Woo. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Oh, camera was gonna die on me. We do it in one take. Okay. So back to it. The story is that she goes to the or her dad, she picks up the phone. It's her dad. She doesn't say that it's her, and so he believes that that's a friend or whatever. And then there's this upperclassman, and he's kind of creepy, if I'm being honest with you. He just thinks she's super beautiful and all this kind of stuff, and he's just a creepy ass little dude. I hated him, if I'm being honest with you. His character name was Chan Woo. He was so annoying. He was the most annoyingest, creepiest dude ever. And so then he meets her outside, and he's just like, oh, do you want to go somewhere with me and you can like rest or whatever. And so he takes her to this like little room or whatever. I don't know if it's like if it was a dorm room or if it was just kind of resting area. So they went to this like room, resting area, whatever. And so he sits on the couch, and she's like awkwarded out. She's like, this dude is kind of weird. I don't know what's going on. Because he keeps saying like, you're pretty. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. This and that. Like, it's weird. It is so weird. I don't get it. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You're being weird as fuck. You know this, right? You're just being hella weird. Stop it. And so it was one of those things where for me, I was just like, what are you doing, man? Like, you're obviously weirding her out and you're making her uncomfortable. So she doesn't sit on the couch. She sits on like a chair. Okay. And then, when she sits on the chair, he's just like, oh, but you can sit right here with me. Like, are you uncomfortable? Da, da, da. And she's like, no, it's cool. I'm just going to sit right here. Like, it's fine, And so then he gets up and he sits on like the single chair. Cause there's like a sofa and then there's like a single chair. He goes to sit over there and then she sits on the seat. And then he's like asking, or he's asking pretty invasive questions. Like, do you have a boyfriend and all this kind of stuff? Just creepy shit. So she gets up and she's like, look, I want to go. Like, I want to go back to like the place. But he's like, oh, if you go back, then they're going to make you drink more and blah, blah, blah. You should just stay here. Just being a total fucking creep. Then, as she's trying to leave, Kyonsaka, he hears it and he just breaks the door open. And homeboy falls to the ground and shit. And he's like, what the fuck? What's going on? Why are you doing this to me? And he's just like, dude, she wants to leave. Like, fuck is wrong with you, bro? Like, why are you making her stay in here and doing all this shit and da-da-da? And so he leaves, and it's just Kyonsaka and Mirei now. And so he asks her, like, hey, did we go to the same middle school together? And she was like, it is him. It is the same guy from middle school. Fuck. And she was like, no, it's not me. No, totally not. No, not at all. And he was like, oh, okay, I only asked because you have the same name as someone I knew in middle school. And she was like, oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. and man, it was wild. And so fast forward a little more. Woon Chan, he's like, or Chan Woon, whatever that dude's fucking name is. I have everybody's name right here. So Chan Woo. He tells them, or he asked them, like all of the underclassmen, he asked all of them to like meet up and stuff like that. And so he asked like everybody to meet up and things. And so they're trying to figure something out. I can't remember what it was, but he was just kind of being more creepy with Mirei. And then it was lunchtime. And so then in lunchtime, he sits with her. And he's all talking about, you're like, you're super pretty. Why don't you have a boyfriend? This and that. Like, we should hang out, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's just being super fucking creepy. And then she's like, she can't handle it. She can't handle like, oh my God, he's telling me I'm pretty and all, he wants to date me and all this kind of stuff. So she runs to the bathroom, right, to kind of just like collect her thoughts. She's like, oh my God, I've never had this from a guy before. I've never had a guy like come on to me so hard before. And so for her, she's like trying to calm down everything. So she gets back and she's like, I have to just tell him, no, I'm not interested in you. You know, I got to collect my thoughts, just tell him, let him down easy. Like, hey, we could be friends, but I just don't want a boyfriend. So he goes back, right? So, we get a bit of a flashback, you know, just like it shows it from, Chan Woo's, like point of view. So she runs off to the bathroom and he's just sitting there or whatever. And now this girl comes in. Her name is Hyun Sua. Hyun Sua is like the pretty girl. She's the most prettiest girl in the entire school. Every guy wants to date her. Every girl wants to be her. It's like she's that it girl, okay? And so she walks up to Chanwoo and just like, oh, hey, you know, like, it's nice to see you and da-da-da. Like, where'd you go during the little introduction ceremony thingy? And he was like, oh, you know, I just stepped out and whatnot, you know. And she was like, oh, okay. It was a bummer we couldn't talk more because I actually really liked you. And he was like, oh, really? Oh, shit. You liked me? For real? Me? And she's like, yeah, I really liked you. I thought you were, you know, really mature and kind of cool. And so for him, he's like, oh, hell yeah. And so, but she was like, oh, but I know you like Mireille because, you know, I just see you have like a big interest in her. And he was like, no. You got it wrong. It's the other way around. Like, she likes me, but I had to turn her down, you know, because like, I like somebody else, you know what I mean? I kind of like you. And she's not buying it. She ain't buying that shit for a second. She's like, oh, no, it's cool. Like, don't worry about it. Like, it's totally fine. If you want to be with Mireille, it's cool. And he's like, no. Like, it ain't even like that. It ain't even like that. So then Mireille comes back and she was just about to turn him down, as we previously saw when she went to the bathroom. And so he was like, I don't like you. I don't want to be together with you, and da-da-da. And he does this in front of everybody in the cafeteria or whatever. And so he walks off. And Kyonsaka is sitting like a couple tables down. So he's walking and he trips Chanwoo. And homeboy gets pissed. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, Kyonsaka, fuck you. He's like, what the fuck you, dude? Like, why are you going to trip me? Like, that's so fucked up. Da-da-da-da. And so he tries to punch him. And Kyonsaka's like, dodge mode. He's like, dude, you're making a fool of yourself. Get the fuck out of here. Stop. You out here playing with bitches' hearts, you know, and I see the game you're playing. Stop it. All right? Don't do that shit. And so then Mireille tries to get into the middle of it and he pushes her. And so Kyonsaka grabs her, you know, and they have this romantic moment. And you know, she's like, she's never been grabbed by a dude before. I don't think she's ever had a dude touch her, you know, because homeboy grabbed her and she was like, oh my God, Jesus Christ, this is like being thirsty and having a cool glass of water. This is crazy, you know. And so in the show, you know how they slow-mo it and make it seem like, you know, this moment lasts for a long time. It lasts for a few seconds, you know. And he's just like, hey, you all right? Is everything good? You know. And so he leaves because all the other people are like, how dare you push that girl and blah blah blah. And so you know, that's when she's like, oh, you know, I gotta go, and leaves and whatever. And so that's like the start of their little kind of relationship. Not, you know, it just kind of sparks it a little bit. And so pretty much throughout the show, that's just the start of it. I'm not going to spoil too much about it. It's a long K-series. It's about like 16 episodes. So it's pretty long, but it's so good. It's so good. The interactions, there's a lot of characters. There's a lot of sub-drama too, but a lot of the sub-drama is not really the best. The sub-drama is okay, but if I'm being honest with you, the main drama is between Kyonsaka and Mireille, and just how they interact with each other and how the other characters try to come into that, because it gets to a point where Mireille is kind of like the it girl, like all the guys want her, and you know, she's, you know, the hot thing on campus. So it kind of makes Suya, like Han Suya, it makes her like pissed. She's like, fuck this bitch. How dare she gets a fake face and then everybody wants her, you know? And there's some things you find out about Hansuo. I'm not going to spoil, but there's some things that you find out about her is the reason why she's so bitter, because she's so into her beauty, you know, and she goes to the extremes to stay beautiful, to stay skinny, to have clear skin, to have long hair, you know, to look attractive. She goes to the utmost lengths, and she's like, this bitch Mireille doesn't do anything, and she's getting all the dudes. Fuck that shit. No, that attention is my attention. Like, what are you talking about here? Why are you stealing my attention? And then she likes Kyonsaka, but Kyonsaka is like, fuck this fake chick. Like, I know. Like, you think Mireille is fake? No, baby girl, you're fake. Mireille may have a fake face, but you have fake everything. You know, like, the only thing real about you is nothing. If I'm being honest with you, like, Kyonsaka sees right through her, you know, and she tries way too hard. I mean, man, she gets turned down so many times in this show. It's ridiculous. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Move on at that point. You know, you have like an army of simp dudes that are after you. But see, that's the thing, though. It's like, she doesn't want the army of simp dudes. She wants the dude that isn't a simp for her, you know, because she's just like, what the fuck's going on with this guy? Why is he not simping over me? Why is he not, you know, all enveloped in me? She was trying to figure that out. She's like, what the fuck is going on? You know, and she was like, I can turn him into a simp if I date him, you know, give him a little coochie or something, you know, but he wasn't having it. He was like, nah, fuck you. No, Mireille's my girl. I love that bitch, you know? And it isn't until a while till you really figure out Kyonsaka's feelings, because he is so brooding. You know what I mean? He gives you very little. He has very little lines in the show, if I'm being honest with you. Like, you hear homeboy talk, and in the times that he does, like, express his feelings, they are so expressive where it's like undeniable that that man is like, yeah, you love her. you want her. My God. You know what I mean? Because he looks at it like, I'm not going to give any of these other chicks attention. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be giving all my attention to just my girl. You know, and good on him, because one of the guys in there, I'm gonna see if I can find his name. Tae Young, he is a piece of shit. All right, Tae Young's kind of he's kind of a piece of shit, because, or no, I'm sorry, I believe it's Jung Ho. It's either Tae Young or it's Jung Ho, because he dates one of the girls, because he's an upperclassman, and he dates one of the upperclassmen girls after their little festival thing, because all the guys are calling her fat and like, oh, you need to get on a diet and this and that, you should stop eating and blah blah blah, and he's over here like, oh, you know, no, you're beautiful, and like, some guys like a more bigger girl and this and that, and so they get together, and then, you know, they start dating, and then it kind of gets out that they're dating, and then they're like, fuck it, who cares if it gets out that we're dating, you know, I care about you. And she's like, oh, what, for real? You don't care that like other people are gonna know that we're dating? He's like, nah, fuck that shit, you know. And then Suya, this bitch, man, she comes out of nowhere talking about, oh, you're my favorite upperclassman, and, you know, I care a lot about you, and if you ever want to talk to me, like, I'm on your side, and, you know, I'm there for you. And he takes it so wrong. He takes her supportive talk so wrong. He's like, I am in there like swimwear. She wants my dick. And it's like, no, bro. She doesn't want you. She doesn't want you like that. She's just giving her fake sympathies and support for you guys' relationship. And she even asked, like, oh, if somebody else had feelings for you, would you go for them? And she's asking a hypothetical, mind you, but he took it as if he thought what she was meaning is, if I had feelings for you, would you leave her to be with me? That's how he took it. And yeah, that fucked it up. You know, and obviously the girls are talking about her and stuff like that. Oh, how dare you go out with her boyfriend, blah, 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 blah. And so, like I said, you guys, I'm not going to give you guys a bunch. I'm not going to spoil a lot, because even the little that I've talked to you about now, I just gave you the synopsis at the beginning. Pretty much the boring parts, if I'm being honest with you. It starts out very slow. This is a slow K-drama. It's a slow burn, but it picks up episode 4 or 5. So don't, you know, feel like you could honestly skip to like episode 3 and still be solid, if I'm being honest with you. So, yeah, man, I love that show. It was so good. If you haven't watched it, please do. It's on Netflix. It's called My ID is Gangnam Beauty. It is such a good K-drama series. I feel like you guys will love it. I feel like you guys will be so enamored by all the characters and how they interact with each other and the little drama bits here and there, and especially Mireille and Kyung Suk's relationship. Their relationship is so cute. Mireille is like the cutest little thing ever in that show, especially her little friend. I love her little rapper friend. She is so cute. I'm like, oh my god. And their little best friend dynamic is cute. There's some points in the show where you're just like, holy shit, why did she not tell her best friend this, and stuff like that. There is also like a bit of a strong love triangle in there. That's not really a love triangle because Mireille and Kyonsaka's likeness for each other is very strong. And there's an upperclassman. His name is Woo Young, and he's super handsome dude. And it's funny because like the best friend, Mireille's best friend, is so into him, and you can tell she's like enamored by him. She's like, oh my god, he's so handsome, this and that, and da-da-da, and he's older and all this stuff. So you can tell she kind of into older dudes. So, yeah, but he tries to wiggle his way in there, and he's a smooth operator. I ain't gonna lie to you. He's a smooth operator. I'm not gonna spoil how he does it and what goes down with that. I'm gonna let you guys watch that, but he's a smooth operator. Man, Woo Young, he's something to look out for. That nigga's a little dangerous. I just think that, he is a little superficial, though. He's big into a woman's looks more than anything. That is something that kind of killed points with him for Mireille. She was just kind of like, oh, look, man, my looks are fake. Like, these aren't my natural looks. So that means you don't like naturally me, and Kyonsaka, he's smooth as fuck too. I ain't gonna lie to you. He's a little smooth. There's some times where you're just like, oh, and then there's times where he'll say something and Mirei's like, damn, I'm wet. And sometimes I'm like, woo, damn, Kyonsaka, you smooth, bruh. You smooth. You a smooth operator, motherfucker. He's smooth. Shit. But like I said, My ID is Gangnam Beauty. That's going to be my show recommendation for you guys. I hope you guys check that one out and watch it. It's really good. It's really good. I'm going to continue this little series of talking about shows that I've seen or show recommendations and stuff. I'm going to try to bring on some more of my friends, and maybe they can give like some suggestions for shows for you guys and stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be a new thing we start to do. I like it. It's fun to talk about these shows, and hopefully you guys will find something new. If you've already seen these shows, then great, let's talk about it in the comment section below. But let's go ahead and get into our thread for today. Men of Reddit, what stereotypically girly things do you enjoy? All right, so what stereotypically girly things do guys enjoy? Peeing sitting down. Who the fuck pees sitting down? Like, if I'm taking a dump, sure, because I'm about to take a shit, so obviously I might as well just pee while I'm taking a shit, but if I have to go pee, I'm not gonna sit down and go pee. What the fuck? Okay, all right. Lying on my bed and kicking my feet up in the air. Oh no, this man said I like lying on my tummy with my feet in the air, swinging like a yacht. Oh, bro. Oh no, that's fucked up, bro. Oh my god. This dude said margaritas, though I didn't know they were really girly until somebody pointed it out. Now, I didn't know margaritas were gay. I thought, or not gay, I'm sorry. I didn't know that they were girly. I thought they were just, I don't know. I thought, not margaritas, but, I guess you could say cocktails. I thought cocktails was the more girlier drink. I thought margaritas was kind of like a gender neutral drink. You know what I mean? I thought it was like kind of cocktails or like cosmopolitans or stuff like that. Maybe that cosmopolitan is just one drink. I don't know. But I've always heard that those kind of drinks, the more colorful drinks, like, don't get me wrong, I like me a little Mai Tai, and a lot of people are like, that's a girly drink. And I'm just like, what? A Mai Tai is a girly drink? I don't think Mai Tais are a girly drink. I just like me a little rum, coconut, and pineapple juice. Like, what's wrong with that? You know, like, I don't know. You let me know. Is that a girly drink? Are there other girly drinks that are girly and I don't even know about them? Let me know in the comments. What are girly drinks? Let's see. Self-care. I love massages and spas. I also get pedicures. Turns out women love a man that has good hygiene. Yeah, man. Like, why? I get that how that can be stereotypically girly, but at the same time, man, if you taking care of yourself, man, ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. You know, now I understand if you out here getting your nails done and your lashes and shit, and then that's a little too much, bro. That's a little too much. But I mean, you know, you go in, you getting a nice haircut, you know, you're go ahead and get you a little mud bath or whatever, get you a massage, get a little pedicure, because trust me, men's feet, our feet are fucking disgusting. You ladies are probably like, hell yeah, my husband's or my boyfriend's feet are nasty. Like, look, I wish he'd go get a pedicure. Fuck. Man, I can hear him now. Shit. All right. My wife is more athletic than she is homey. So I do all the crafty holiday stuff. The decorating, no bake sales though. It's toy model skills. I tell myself, who am I kidding? I love Christmas stuff. This nigga be decorating the house. Man, he be just decorating with the house. He just like, oh man. And I can see how that's stereotypically girly. I can see that. I can definitely see how that's girly, because it's like, come on, man, that's your wife's shit. You just buy the stuff. You go to Michael's and you buy the stuff, and then she decorates it, and understandable. But there are some guys who have that time on their hands. Say they work at home and their job isn't really that demanding, and so they can be at home and do that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'd probably fill my time with something like that too, with projects and stuff like that. And then it's cool because you could kind of do it with your girl. So I don't really see that being as like girly. I understand it's stereotypically girly, but yeah, it's understandable. Let's see. A really good cry. I've been pretty emotional lately, just sad, and I'm not sure why. A midlife crisis maybe, but a few weeks ago I broke down in my truck at work and started crying. Man, I felt so much better afterwards. I told my wife about it later when I got home, and she hugged me and gave encouragement. I felt ashamed at first, but now I approach it with strength. The strength for me to realize that something is bothering me and my mind is trying to tell me about it. I love how you went about it. You cried, in your truck, and, you kind of let it out and you felt good about it later. But I wouldn't tell my girl about it. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't really tell my girl about it. Reason being is because there's a great saying that my strength is our strength. And when I'm weak, we're weak. When I'm strong, we're strong. And for me, I look at it like that is how a woman sees me as her man. And I don't want to show vulnerabilities or weakness. I want her to feel like I am the invincible man that, she can hide behind whenever there is tough times and troubles, Now, sure, if you want to just be like, babe, I had a rough day at work today, it was a little hard on me today and this and that. Yeah, of course, because you want to share that with your girl to some degree, but I wouldn't tell her that you cried. You know what I mean? I wouldn't. I would just let her know, hey, man, I had a rough day today, babe. It was, work was a bitch and a half, and I've been kind of stressed lately, and you let her know, and then you go do things that, stress relieve you, you know what I mean? And if spending time with your girl stress relieves you, that's great. If video games stress relieve you, that's great. If playing with Legos stress relieves you, great. Just have that. I say you can be open with your girl to some degree, but you can't be open too much, because you have to understand, your strength is our strength, the man's strength is our strength. And when your girl kind of sees you being kind of weak like that, it does put a little doubt in their mind, like, ooh, can he handle these tough moments, and I'm not saying you're a pussy. I'm not saying you're a shitty guy or nothing like that. I'm just saying, like, let your girl know things are going on, but not to the fullest degree. Go ahead, cry, do your thing, and do it in solitude, do it with your homies, but don't tell your girl, let her know, hey, I had a rough day. It's been tough. I've been stressed, all this. Let her know that. And she'll still give you that sympathy, but do it in a place of strength. Like, man, it's been tough and this and that, and I've been stressed out, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, don't worry about it, babe. It's okay. You're good. Everything's fine. It's like, okay, thanks, babe, blah, blah, blah. And then you just move on. You move past it, And like I say, you go to do the things that stress relieve you. But yeah, I don't know. That's just my 2 coins. I've been told many times that the way I sit is very feminine. I cross one leg over the other with both hanging off the chair. Okay. I think that's the whole cross-legged thing. I don't know if you guys can see my legs, but it's like kind of like, see how my knee is up? A lot of guys kind of do this. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see my knee. Yeah, you can see it, but it's pretty much like when you're sitting down and you kind of cross one leg over the other kind of thing, but like your knee is kind of high, Girls do this obviously, so their shit don't show, but a lot of guys do it. I don't see that being feminine. I see that being kind of comfortable, if I'm being honest with you. I do it, but I kind of lay like my leg flat instead of like my leg being up. I kind of lay my leg a little flat, but I mean, I don't see it as being feminine though, Huh. Hey, it's cool. Hey, ain't tripping. Do your thing, brother. Let's see. The color pink K-dramas, especially the rom-coms and anything and everything cute. Puppies, kittens, babies, Sanro characters, whatever. Even the little skull in my profile picture is blushing. Huh. So I guess he's a man that likes the color pink. I mean, what's wrong with liking the color pink? I don't see anything wrong with liking the color pink. I mean, at one point my favorite color was purple, and I loved purple. Purple was a dope ass color, but at the same time you could argue, oh, but purple's for pimps. It can't be gay. So it's like, all right, cool. All right, that makes sense. I guess purple is a manly color. Fuck, But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I hope the saying real men wear pink is still a thing. I would hope so, but maybe not, just because of the whole like saving masculinity craze going on. That has probably changed that. It's like, no, real men don't wear pink, and pink is for the bitches. Maybe. I have no idea. But at the same time, I mean, you could like cute stuff though, because think about it. Puppies, kittens, and babies. Come on, bro. I think everybody loves puppies, kittens, and babies. They're all that's cute, normal shit. I like puppies, I like kitties, and I like babies. What the fuck? I think they're cute. Like, how's that? How's that stereotypically girly though? I don't know. All right, you let me know in the comments. How is that stereotypically girly? You let me know. Liking puppies, kittens, and babies. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think a girl would date a dude if he was just like, oh, that's a puppy, cool. You know what I mean? But if it's like, oh my god, that's a puppy. Look, babe, it's a cute little puppy. And she's like, oh my god, like, I get it. It's like you want to be manly and shit, but you don't have to like, oh babe, it's a puppy. Oh yeah, babe, look, it's cute. It's a cute baby. Cool. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You guys tell me. I'm gonna get off that. I honestly don't know or care what is considered girly anymore, but I'll say rom-coms. All right, look, man. We just got done talking about a K-drama rom-com, and I like rom-coms. All right, rom-coms are my shit. I love me a little romantic comedy movie. Okay, like, if you want to call me girly over that, fuck you. You know what I mean? Because even like I watch anime, and a lot of dudes, they enjoy like the fighting animes and stuff like that. They want to see dudes fighting, boxing, all that kind of stuff. Me, I enjoy the rom-com ones. I enjoy the harem ones. I enjoy, the love ones and stuff like that, because I think they're funny. I really do. Like when and this is like a classic anime trope, where he walks in the morning in the bathroom, she's taking a shower, and then he's like, oh no, and then he like gets his ass beat or whatever, and they like shoot him to the moon and shit, like he's James in Pokemon and shit. It's like, dude, I think it's funny. I like rom-coms. I don't see how romantic comedies are girly in a sense. I guess because they deal with romance. I don't know. I just don't find the fighting ones too interesting, if I'm being honest with you, because it's a lot of the same shit, just different choreography, you know? And I just don't get it. I'm like, I'll watch a few of them here and there, don't get me wrong. But for the most part, I kind of like the romantic ones. I don't know. That's just me. Let's see. This one's interesting. Receiving flowers. I've never known a girl to buy a dude flowers. Never. I don't think I've ever seen that. I would love to see that. Like, if that's ever happened to you, or if you've seen something like that happen, please comment below. I would love to hear that story. Please, like, I'll read it. I'll read it down there. Trust me, I'll read it, and I want to know because, that'd be interesting. That'd be very interesting. I'd love to see that. You know, a girl buying a dude flowers. Let's see. Candles. Yes. I am one of those guys that loves him some Bath and Body Works candles, because when you and your girl trying to get freaking nasty, yes, candles are the way to do it. I'm telling you, hey, men out there, look, I got the cheat code for you when you trying to do something romantic, but you kind of want to be a little on the cheap side about it. Look, brother, I got you. Everyone should have a fucking smart TV by now. If not, you're able to connect your phone to your TV. All right. If not, you have a laptop, nigga. All right. I know you got a laptop. Go on YouTube. Type in 10 hours of fireplace. All right. It's real nice. Make the room super dark to where that screen is the only thing lighting it up like a fireplace. All right. Then what you go do is you go get you a nice scented candle, something that you know she's going to like, a scent that you know she's going to like. You put that motherfucker on maybe 30 minutes or so, I would say, maybe 30 to 45 minutes, an hour give or take, before she gets there. Let that candle burn. Let it burn. So that way the smell gets into the room, whatnot. Even close the door to the room so that way the smell kind of gets very enveloped. Make sure your candle's in a safe place too, so nothing burns down in the house. And that's really it, if I'm being honest with you. You can get a couple of them fucking candles. You could probably get one really expensive one and then a couple cheap ones, and, have her open the door, you know what I mean? And then just be like, oh shit, you got the fireplace crackling, you got the candles, it smells nice. I'm telling you, bro, you gonna get some booty that night, man. And you want to know how much that cost you? The price of the candles. Telling you, brother, it's nice. The price of the candles, that's it. That's all it's going to cost you, the price of candles. I mean, if you want to do flowers and the rose petals and all that other shit, go ahead. I don't say do all that because you got to clean it up after. And that's a pain in the ass, and we all know that's a pain in the ass. I mean, you can still get flowers. You can put them bitches in a vase or something. That's nice too. But if I'm being honest with you, man, 10 hours of the fire crackling thing, it's only going to take you, you're not even going to get through an hour of that fire crackling. You know what I mean? Gonna be beating them cheeks for at least 45 minutes, and that's about it. But I'm just saying, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, you trying to romance your girl, that's the way to go. That's the way to go, brother. My God. And yes, I've done this, tested and confirmed. All right. Let's see. Gonna do maybe like 2 more of them. Let me see. Man, I'm trying to look for some good ones. Okay, here we go. This one, I don't know. I see a lot of guys do this, though. Gardening. I've been trying to find an alternative plants to replace a section of grass in my front yard, and it's turning into a cacti/succulent garden while I slowly get more into home treatments and gardening tips. I feel like an old lady in a sun hat and dirty clothes because it's so peaceful. I don't care. Yeah, I see a lot of guys getting into gardening though, if I'm being honest with you. A lot of guys who, have bought in their own house and they're kind of like pretty successful just doing their own thing. They want a nice little hobby that's kind of peaceful, but it's not like too challenging. I've actually known a couple guys that I work with at my real job. They are into gardening and they do that. It's not their wives. They're like, yeah, no, that's my man's garden. Even my mom's boyfriend is into gardening and he's been doing that, because he owns his house and stuff like that. And so he looks at it like, yeah, I'm gonna get into gardening and I'm gonna have a nice garden in my backyard, blah, blah, blah. And I can have like fresh tomatoes and shit like that. And so I don't really think that's girly, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, I get how it can be 100%. But low key, I mean, shit. I don't know if there are any green thumb chicks out there that'd be like, oh yeah, he got that green thumb. Damn, how are you doing? I don't know. You let me know. Is there some green thumb comment girls out there? Let me know. I would love to know because maybe girls don't like that anymore. Oh man. Broadway show tunes. Okay. All right, Broadway show tunes, huh? Because for me, Broadway show tunes would seem like it's a more girly to like homosexual thing. I don't know though, because even like some of the homosexual friends that I have, they don't really care too much about Broadway like things. There are a couple movies that they like. I know my significant other, her sister, and they do love the whole Moulin Rouge thing. So I could see how that's a little girly because I don't really know any dudes that are like, oh, hell yeah, Moulin Rouge is the shit. There may be some guys out there that think, that movie's great, but I'm not one of them. So, I've known that to kind of be pretty fruity, fresh and tooty. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and that's the end of that. That was the end of that. What is typically or stereotypically girly that men do? What are things that are stereotypically girly things that men do? Blah, 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 blah. Let's go ahead and get into the scenarios for today. We got a couple of them. They're pretty good. And then we have a Patreon submission. So stick around for that one, okay? My boyfriend and I don't share a bedroom. Strange? My boyfriend and I live together for about 3 years now, and we've yet to share a bedroom together completely. We do sleep with each other some nights, but usually not. I just really enjoy my own space and being able to rest on my own. Is anyone out there like this in any way? How can I get myself to try and sleep with him more on a regular basis, but not feel suffocated in a sentence? Honestly, girl, if I'm being honest with you, you don't need to get yourself to feel comfortable sleeping with him and stuff like that. You really don't. If I'm being honest with you, there's a thing where this has not been like this is not an official study, but it is an experiment that was conducted. Like I said, it's not official. This was not backed by anybody, nothing like that. This was just simply they got a focus group of people together and they asked those focus group of people, hey, was your relationship more successful when you guys weren't living together, or was it more successful when you are living together? More couples leaned towards when they weren't living together. Reason being is because they missed each other more. Reason being is because they did not have sexual access to their partner at all times. And so sex was less stale and boring. There was another thing where it was like, your mental health within a relationship is actually a lot better when you have your own space and you have your own place to go to that is just yours. It's not a shared space. You don't really have to deal with someone else's items and things and property and all that kind of stuff. You don't really have to be mindful of someone else, within this space. So it allows you just to be a little more mentally healthy within that relationship. It was also another thing where they felt like it was easier to communicate with their partner because they were able to tell them things that were on their mind, that were tough situations and things like that, and then they can kind of go back to their room by themselves and not really have to revel in the awkwardness of the conversation that they just had. And so, like I said, I think it's a great thing, if I'm being honest with you. If it's one of those things where you and your partner are okay with living in the same house but in different rooms, I see nothing wrong with that. There's so many benefits to it, if I'm being honest with you. And like I said, with that little focus group gathering thing, like I said, it's not an official study or anything. It was just a focus group thing that, these random people decided to do. It was just a simple social experiment where they decided to see if, hey, is living together better or is living apart better? And apparently living apart is better. We're creatures of habit. And so, when we are single, a lot of times it's hard for us to get out of those, like that single routine mentality, and I get it. With certain things you have to, the way you talk to the opposite sex and the way you go about being on the internet and, certain things here and there because your partner doesn't like it, so on and so forth. But for the most part, it's a thing where it's like you want your own personal space to do the things that you want to do and to kind of feel relieved in your own company. And there's a lot of people who just want to be fucking left alone, if I'm being honest with you. They do. They just want to be left alone. They just want to be in their own little bubble, and that's that. There's nothing wrong with that. No, I don't see anything wrong with that. That's something I would like to actually do with my significant other. Let her have her own bedroom, because for me, I'm a very tech person, as you see, everything that's going on back here, my computer setup and the way it is, it's a big setup, and so it can be in the way. It can get in the way of her maybe just wanting to be in the room and read a book, or, she wants to just listen to a podcast and just kind of chill, and, or she just wants to take a nap, whatever the case may be. A lot of times that can happen. You feel suffocated by your partner's things. They don't even have to be in the house. But just because their stuff is all over the place, you feel suffocated. Think about it, guys. When you go into the bathroom and your girl's makeup and, moisturizer and bottles for this and that and tampons and pads and all this shit, they're just strung about all over the bathroom. A lot of times you feel like, fuck, she's not here, but all her crap is here and it's suffocating me. Same thing with guys. With women, I'm sorry. Women, when you're at home and the dude's clothes are all over the fucking floor and their socks and this and that and their gaming console and this and that, all their shit strung about, you feel suffocated by that stuff, but if you're in your own room, your own space, but you still live with your significant other, they're just down the hall or they're just the next room over, it feels less stressful. You have better mental health. You have a better, stressless environment going on because you have a safe place to kind of go to and just be you, just be yourself, do your thing. And then, like I said, it also improved them being better at what is it called? Having tough conversations, because when you have tough conversations, it gets awkward, and then you guys got to sleep in the same bed together, and it's just weird. But if you have those tough conversations, and say it was a conversation that you guys didn't really want to have, and it kind of pinched a nerve of somebody or whatever the case may be, you can go back to your room and you can just kind of decompress on your own. He can decompress on his own, and you guys are just chilling. So my thing is, I don't think that's strange at all. I don't think it's weird. I think it's a great thing. But you guys let me know in the comments what you think, because that's just how I feel about it. Okay, we got our next scenario. This one's a little juicy. Stayed too long in an abusive relationship, and now I'm a cheater. Woo-wee. Okay. I, female 23, do not understand myself. I'm not myself. I've started to over-sexualize myself. No idea what I'm doing. Feels like I've been so desperate for being seen and feel good enough that I've turned into a cruel person. In some ways, it reminds me of my abusive partner, and now I think I'm just as idiotic as him. I hate it, but most times I don't care or think it through. I never deserve all that he did. And all I think of is if he can do it to me, I can do it too. I don't know what to do. This is not me. What the fuck is wrong with me? Never did I think I would be able to be so cold or say rude things back no matter how much someone hurt me. I used to be so shy and scared of people. I never talked. So shy I could barely make myself say hi. I know I'm no longer a nice person. I hate that. I'm so destroyed. Everything is so different. I feel like I don't deserve to be called the victim anymore. I no longer cry for help. I no longer beg people to be kind and stop hurting me. I just distance and hurt them back. I'm awful. Wow. Man, and that's so sad how you let this guy have so much power over you that you became what you hated. You know what I mean? Like, I understand. It's you want to look at him and be like, wow, he's a piece of shit for what he did to her, and you know she has every right to go out there and act like a bitch and this and that. And it's like, if I'm being honest with you, you by doing all of this, you're letting him win, because you're letting what he did affect you so much that you threw away who you were to become him. Do you get what I'm trying to come out here? It's sad and it sucks and it's horrible to say that, you know, because you want to be on her side because of what she went through. And most definitely, I'm glad that you got out of the relationship and realized that it was abusive and a toxic relationship for what it was. But I'm not going to sit here and pat you on the back for who you became, because you became a worse person for that result. I'm not going to sit here and say don't stand up for yourself. I'm not going to say that you need to continue to be this shy girl and not say anything. No, I just think that you should continue to be a nice person, continue to be who you were in the beginning of that relationship, being the nice person. You know, you don't want to hurt a person's feelings. You don't want to do all these things. Why become him? Why let his actions and the shitty things that he did affect you so much that you become what you hate? I just don't condone that. I don't condone that. And I hope that she can realize that and come to a awakening and being like, holy crap, I've become what I hated. You know, that's just tough. That's tough. And I'm not going to pat her on the back for that. You know, I pat her on the back for getting out of that crazy relationship, most definitely. I pat her on the back for, you know, sticking up for herself, you know, becoming that person that can stick up for herself, 100%. But I will not pat you on the back for the person you became. That's terrible, man. And, you know, I didn't mean for this to get, I didn't mean for this to get super serious on this show. That's not what we do. But, you know, with a situation like that, I'm going to give it to you real and raw, if I'm being honest with you. And I extend that to you guys, like, you know, that are listening and watching and stuff. If you get out of such a toxic and horrible relationship, do not become what you hate. You know what I mean? Just don't do that. Don't do that. Don't let a person affect you so much that you become a shitty person. Just don't do that. You know, you're better than that. You're stay true to who you are. You know, but stick up for yourself and, you know, look out for numero uno, you know, you know what I mean? Look out for yourself, you know what I mean? And do it in a respectful manner. You don't need to be hurting people. They're already hurting themselves, if I'm being honest with you. You know, let them do what they gonna do. You know what I mean? Just saying. Let's get into the next one. All right. Here we go. All right, this one a little sexy. All right, I've only read the title, but I mean, from the title, you gonna be like, ooh, I need to know what happens next. I'm in a relationship with the most amazing man ever, but I kept having fantasies about my manager. Whoo, she out here like, I wanna be his assistant and assist sucking him off. Like I want him to call me into the office and be like, strip naked. Like, she out here fantasizing it. Like, man. Because she said it herself. But it says it right here. But I keep fantasizing about my manager. So, hey, I'm just pointing it out. calling a spade, you know what I mean? All right, I, 20 female, and my boyfriend, 22 male, have been dating for around 2.5 years now. And throughout these years, I've never had any urges to deviate from my boyfriend, nor have I had any serious sexual fantasies or thought of any other man other than my boyfriend. All right. I got a new job about 2 months ago in a fairly popular company and have worked with the manager, 28 male, in question without any issue, and we have a very professional relationship. He is the farthest thing from my type, and his personality is pretty abrasive at times. When he talks to some of my other coworkers, he is particularly friendly to me. So he's abrasive with others, but he's friendly with her. And she's kind of like, all right. I like that a little bit. It may just be me overthinking it and him being nice because I'm fairly new, but when he would normally be rude or stern with my coworkers, some who started working there after me, he would speak very gently and oddly polite to me. Nothing has ever happened between us that would insinuate that there is any tension, and he has made even the slightest inappropriate comment or action towards me. Yet I find myself oddly attracted to him, and I've been having inappropriate thoughts about him. The only reason I can think of why I'm having these thoughts of him is because I'm not used to positive attention from strangers or people I'm not close to. I was definitely below average. I was definitely below average when it came to looks when I was still in high school, and I definitely peaked once I turned 19. And I've had a lot of inappropriate things said to me, and I look a lot better now. But I don't think I'm used to people just being nice to me without making it a sexual thing. Okay. That's why she's probably had no good experience with somebody being nice to her. So she's just like, why is this guy just genuinely being nice to me? You know? But at the same time, he's a little older, so he knows how to play the game. He knows how to game his game. So he like, I'm going to be nice to her and be a little different. And then as I'm a little different, she going to be like, I kind of like this little different. You know, I wonder what that different feel like. I wonder what that different tastes like. Woo! Woo! Goddamn. Whew. Got a little hot in here. The feelings I have when I'm around him and when he talks to me can be compared to a stupid high school crush. The feeling is so juvenile, and I can't seem to get him out of my head, even though I know I'd never act on these feelings, since I never put my relationship with my boyfriend in jeopardy, since I'm in love with him. And he is the best thing to ever happen to me, and can't help but feel attracted to this man who doesn't even have a car and still lives with his damn parents. Wow. Let's see. I can't help but feel attracted to this man who doesn't even have a car. So her man doesn't have a car and he lives with his parents, but she is so madly in love with him. But then she sees this dude who is nice to her, a little older, you know, cause she's 20. So he's like 8 years older, you know, so he's 8 years older, you know. He's not the most attractive dude, but he's got his shit together. He's the manager, so, you know, homeboy got a little power on him. And she's just like, that looks like a nice little something. I can't quit this job or cut my manager out completely since I work with him constantly, but I seriously don't know why I have this stupid crush on him. I don't know if I'm looking for solutions or if I want to vent, but I am so confused and I feel awful even thinking about another guy the way I am. Oh my God. And it's one of those things where she probably will continue to feel like this until she gets fucked by him. Man, until he just bangs her brains out. My God, because she's already fantasizing about him. And I think it's one of those things where she is looking at something where it's like, this is the other side of the fence and the grass is looking pretty green over there, but she's like, it's nice here. You know, the grass is nice here. It's soft, it's comfortable, it's great. But work is kind of forcing her to look over that fence and make her feel like I could be doing better. there's a lot more out there, because you got to realize, she just said it, homeboy don't got a car. And he lives with his parents. He probably doesn't have the best job. He may be working like a very minimum wage style job or whatever, but it's a job. I'm not knocking homeboy. I'm just giving you guys the information of what she told me. But comparing the two guys, that's just how she probably feels. I think that's where the fantasy is kind of coming from, where it's just like, she looks at him as a fucking man, so where she looks at her boyfriend like, I love him, but he doesn't have these manly qualities. He doesn't have that man trope on him. She probably pays for a lot of the stuff. Her job is probably better than his. She probably drives him around. If he does drive, it's her car. You see what I mean? So she doesn't really feel like, she has a man taking care of her. She kind of feels like, I have, just like an equal, or I just have like just a boyfriend, a guy that I she's like, if it wasn't for these strong ass feelings, I'd have probably left your bitch ass for him a long time ago, but work is really forcing her to look over the fence. And she's just like, well, sex with this guy, she pretty much described him as a man child, if I'm being honest with you, but I'm not here to bash on homeboy. But it's just one of those things where it's like, she looks at him and she's like, well, sex with him is pretty good, but I wonder what sex would be like with a man. I wonder what he would do to me. Would he pick my shit up and rock me on his dick? Would, he'd slam me against the wall? Would he like put, give me that fucking veiny necklace that girls love? You know what I mean? Ooh, oh my Lord. She thinking about it. I can guarantee you 100%. She thinking about it. She like, man, but that D game is crazy. You got to realize, he's only 22 and this guy's 28. So he's probably got a little more experience under his belt, and he can do a little more thang, and she's just like, maybe her dude ain't really getting her off, and so she's just like, what if this guy has the skills to pay the bills, to get to the big O? I don't know. I'm just throwing solutions out there. You guys let me know. You guys let me know, because woo-wee, I'm just saying. I am just saying. All right. We're going to get into the Patreon submission. This is going to be our last scenario for the show. Patreon submission, though. If you guys want to get your very own Patreon submission onto the show, go ahead, and if you are listening on Spotify and or Apple Podcasts, there should be a support the show link. You go ahead and click that. That'll take you straight to Patreon. If the support your show link is not on there, then go ahead and click on the Linktree link, and their Patreon is on there. That is going to be on everything. TikTok, if you are on TikTok, on my profile, it'll say the Patreon there, but you can find the Linktree on damn near anything. If I'm being honest with you, you can find the Linktree on damn near anything, and it'll take you to the Patreon is $3 a month. Every Friday you get a brand new episode. So and then you get the ability to put in your own, or submit your own scenario, just like this person did today. We've been getting a lot of scenarios. A lot of them are from the same people. Like I said, you don't just get the ability to send in one scenario. You can send in as many as you want, as long as you're paying for the Patreon. You're paying $3 a month. You can send in as many scenarios as you want, and I'll cover them all. I'll cover them. Even the previous Patreon episode that we just did, I believe that was 45. That was a full Patreon episode. Everybody's scenario on there, I think, aside from like 2 scenarios, were not Patreon submitted. So we do special Patreon episodes where it's all Patreon centric stuff. We also, like I said, you have it on here, you get exclusive episodes, all that good stuff. So like I said, patreon.com / Am I the Asshole? That is written just like this. Okay, so patreon.com / Am I the Asshole? Just like this. Just like you see it on the screen. Go on there. Like I said, $3 a month. Check it out. But let's go ahead and get into the Patreon scenario. Am I the asshole for leaving my fiance for another guy? Damn, y'all crazy. Whoo. Okay. Am I the asshole for leaving my 25 female fiance, 27 male for another guy? We have been together for 7 years now. Wow. Okay, to start, I did not cheat. Okay, we'll see about that. I have always been extremely loyal. I met a guy at work about 6 months ago who I guess I just sort of slowly fell in love with. Whoa. Damn. Okay, we have been just friends. I could tell the attraction was there. I found myself only thinking about him lately, and I found myself wanting to hang out with him only. Whoa. I just lost interest with my fiance, so I called off the wedding, and I am now dating my coworker. Oh, wow. To repeat, I did not do anything with my coworker until after I called things off with my fiance. He really is a great guy, and we never really fought or had many problems, but I just found myself more inclined to be with this other guy who I view as better. Am I the asshole? I am making this because he is very hard on himself for trusting me, having guy friends, and he says he shouldn't have trusted me, and he hates himself for it. To be honest, I was adamant to him that I would never fall for anyone else, though the entire time we were dating, I didn't think it was possible to fall in love with anyone else. I did view him as perfect, and I thought I wanted to spend forever with him. Then it just kind of happened. Please get to me soon. I love the show. Holy shit. Now the ending told me all I needed to know. It was the fact that he let her have male friends. And that's just the way it is. Just like our previous scenario that we just went over, it's one of those things where it's like when girls do have guy best friends, or like not just best friends, but just friends in general. Yes, we understand that the guy is trying to smash. We understand that. But a lot of times, if the guy is in any way better than you, she will be inclined to kind of go, you got to think about it like this, especially if you're not living with, she didn't mention if her and her ex-fiance were living together. So I think maybe not. And so you got to think about it. She sees him almost every day. She probably sees you maybe a couple times out of the week. And depending on how those interactions go, kind of dictate if she's going to stay interested. If I'm being honest with you, he probably saw her maybe 2 to 3 times out of the week. They probably didn't do much. They probably were at home and they would just watch a movie, maybe have sex, and then just kind of relax and do nothing. Occasionally they would go out for dinner or whatever the case may be, maybe a movie here and there. But as far as the other guy, he was probably just more exciting. He was like, yo, I want to go do this and do that. And there's this hike thing going on. Like, a bunch of me and my friends, do you want to go with me? Me and like a bunch of friends are going to, go wine tasting or whatever. And she looked at it like, holy shit, like this guy is so much fun. He gets out and does things and is interesting, And so my biggest thing is like, if you're trying to keep your girl, man, you got to keep her interested, do shit with her, do stuff, like stay interesting and stay fun and exciting, because she's going to have guy friends at work. She's going to have dudes that she interacts with every single day at the workplace. So it's like you kind of have to limit that, you know what I mean? And you got to be better than these dudes. If I'm being honest with you, it's competition out here. Even though you already won the girl, that's how the world is right now. That's how dating is right now, where it's like you are in constant competition. And if you aren't the best man, she's not going to stick around with you. It doesn't matter if you put a ring on it or not. Of course, according to her, he put a ring on it and she still left. So a ring don't mean shit. If I'm being honest with you, a ring don't mean nothing. So it's a simple thing of like, if you want to keep your girl around, you got to be the best guy. And I understand that could be tough, but it's just the truth. You know what I mean? It's sadly the truth. You got to be the best guy for her, because a new candidate will come. And, he came and he stole her girl. Call that brother Mr. Steal Your Girl, because he stole a fiance at that. Man. My God, he stole a fiance, bro. Is she the asshole, though? Man. I don't know. I want to say no, because she left homeboy and then went with the other guy. But I do think that she is an asshole, because it's like, how are you going to say yes to getting married to someone and then leaving them 6 months later? You see what I mean? It's like, did you really love him? Did you really want to be married to him? Did you really care? You see what I mean? And that's the toughest thing about that, is like, you really didn't care. You really weren't attracted to him as you really thought you were. You weren't in love with him as much as you thought you were. And it's evident, and that's why I get it. In the moment, she was probably super excited about the engagement and, getting engaged, and she was showing the ring off and stuff like that, because there's no way in hell she wasn't wearing her engagement ring at work. Come on now. I'm sure the guy that she left him for saw the engagement ring and was just like, holy shit, you're engaged. Wow, that's crazy. Like, he saw that shit. But my thing is it was a thing where her dude just wasn't, he stopped being the best guy, like I said, he was probably boring. He didn't want to do nothing, this and that. And then this other guy is exciting, fun, and going out and doing a bunch of stuff and inviting her. And, so, whew, you guys let me know. Is she an asshole for that? Did she do it right? Because I feel like I'm in between. I feel like you're not an asshole because you left homeboy and then you started dating homeboy, the next guy. But you are an asshole because you accepted being in a committed almost marriage with somebody and then leaving them for 6 months after. So it's like, were you really in love with homeboy, or did you really care about him and his feelings? It seems so rocky to me, So I'm gonna leave it there. You guys let me know. And that's gonna end today's episode. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Again, I cannot stop thanking you guys. The support's been kind of unreal, if I'm being honest with you, and I do love it all. Like I said, we're growing, man. We're growing and growing, and you guys are helping that out, and I appreciate that so much. Yeah. Thanks so much. YouTube.com. Check us out there. Thank you guys for listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Apple Podcasts, we've only been on Apple Podcasts for like a week now, but Apple Podcasts has been moving and grooving, and I appreciate that. Spotify, we've only been on Spotify for a couple months, and we're almost at 1,000 downloads, man. We're I think about 200 downloads away from 1,000 downloads. We're going to do our 50th episode pretty soon, upcoming here. And yeah, man. Patreon.com. Go ahead and check out, all the content that's over there. You guys have a bunch of, I think there's like 14 more episodes over there that you guys can watch. So there's like 30 over here, and then there's like another 13, 14 over there. So, get that content, $3 a month. Send me in some scenarios, as many scenarios as you want. Just send them in, man. I love to hear them. So, yeah, thank you guys so much, and peace.